Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial, and today's review is Power Book 2 Ghost Season 4, Episode 2. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let's get into it. So this episode, I'm a little late bringing out this recap. However, I gotta get through it. This episode was okay. It started off the episode with Don Carter, Detective Carter, at a site where the Russians' plug was pretty much getting taken down by Carter and his task force. And this has opened up opportunities that we've seen later on episode with Noma and Obi looking at Carter, basically saying that they, with the Russians needing a new supplier, they get tapped in that market. Obi pretty much said at that time that the Tejadas wouldn't like that. Noma pretty much said, forget what they like. So from there, you had they had some information off of Junior, basically why he was on campus. They don't believe it. Carter basically said, I'm going to see what's up. I'm going to handle that. So in this episode, you had Effie. She's looking to go into that engineering program at Yale. So her teachers pretty much told her it was an open slot. She should apply and go for the interview. So she needed more money. So she went to Noma, pretty much told Noma that she's holding down the campus on Stanford by herself, and she wanted a bigger cut. Noma pretty much was like, this is, it's really not up for negotiation. So Effie was pretty much like, what if I bought you more business? Effie said, how? I mean, not Effie, Noma said, how? She pretty much saying, I get you the business with the Russians. Now Obi is looking like, well, I already tried to link with them. They ain't trying to do no business. So Effie is like, well, maybe the wrong person was for the job. So she hit her like on a girl power type tip. Noma said pretty much you got 24 hours. So Noma, now this is where this kind of stuff just comes so like, all right, it's just a show. But it's just like real unrealistic. So Effie goes to the Russians by herself pretty much, and they have a conversation with her. They really accept her conversation, and Effie is not underestimating her, but it's not like she comes off like she's a grown man. Effie still look like a real young girl. So it's just it's not believable that she would be going to do that. So nevertheless, this scene, depending on how you feel, might tick you off because it didn't make no sense. So she's talking to the Russian guy and pretty much telling them she's a hacker and somebody like her that can hack in people information, make sure their stuff is straight, will be beneficial. Pretty much she let him know that she was aware that his daughter wanted to get in certain school, but he probably couldn't get her in because people look at him as scum and slime, so they don't want to do no business with him. So Effie pretty much said, I can help you with that. So he pretty much told her, well, if you can help me with that, I'll consider meeting with Noma. So with that happening, Noma set up that meet and greet. Meanwhile, now you had Monet and her situation. So now you got Monet and her situation. Monet is been having flashbacks. She's having flashback all episode, where she's pretty much, it shows a younger version of Monet dealing with Lorenzo and Kane. Now, if they were going to do flashbacks, and maybe they are later on in the season, it shows her with Kane as a baby. However, I thought they should have relived the story with Mecca and Zeke and how that played out like a flashback, and maybe they're gonna do that later in the season. Maybe she gonna have flashbacks all season long, and that's what this flashback was basically with Lorenzo, Kane, and her. Lorenzo, a young Lorenzo, is trying to come up in the game. He's taking his time. She wants moves to be made right now, so she had two flashbacks, and the second flashback, she went on her own. Had Kane in the car. She ended up putting a gun underneath Kane's baby seat right there, and she went into one of the dealers and got 2 keys of coke. And Lorenzo was pretty much saying it's not time yet. It's not time. She said, "Well, if it ain't time yet, then why I was able to get it?" So it just shows like, I don't want to say she undermined him definitely, but she she will always undermine Lorenzo. That's kind of what it showed like right there even back then. So through this episode, she's been asking everybody, did they find anything on the street? Kane and the kids talk to her. Pretty much that's the scene that you see where Kane is telling her, "You out your league. Things is different now." Kane is making moves, running the streets, and Kane is hurting people, trying to get information on who shot Monet. So that's pretty much Kane in this episode. Well, he had 2 more scenes. The other scene was where he met up with Noma, telling Noma that information to get closer. Obi choked him out, and then it's a funny scene, but it's trying to be serious. But Noma said to Kane, and she said, "My love," and then while he was getting choked, he said, "My love." So his charisma, Noma's taken to his charisma, so she pretty much excused Obi out the picture. Told Obi go about his business, and Kane said, "Yeah, Obi." He flung his hand, basically get gone. And then Noma said to Kane, "You want to talk this over a scotch?" So you already know where this is leading to. Noma and Kane's going to hit it off, and he's going to start clapping them cheeks. So see where that's going. And the only other scene that Kane had is he linked with the Russians again, told Effie that he needed her. Effie had an appointment with her interview for that engineering position, and she bypassed the interview to go link with Kane with the Russians. Was able to provide the Russians some information so they could get them as a client. So that was pretty much Effie and Kane at that moment. Of course, they back at school. They have the classroom scene where all the kids is giving their opinions on subject. And I guess this scene kind of frustrated me too in this episode, where I didn't like that I start just like, how is Diana automatically, each year passes you each level to get to this type of teaching setting. How does Diana automatically end up in that same class because she came in school after all of them? So so that part just didn't. We watch this. People like myself that recap these series, we pay attention to the small details. They just shouldn't have Diana as part of the discussion. She should be on campus, yes, but you don't have to put her in that scene because these are supposed to be advanced of people that have been in the class over the years and whatever. So nevertheless, she is part of the scene, and all these people were in this class because they're trying to get advanced out of school faster and whatever. So yeah, it just didn't make sense. I guess they just doing it just because the people like the conversations that they be having from their different perspectives on whatever the subject matter is. But I just didn't think Diana should have been part of it. Meanwhile, I also showed Diana, of course, she took the pregnancy test. She is pregnant. She met with a doctor. She is pregnant, and also shows Tariq is taking back on campus. He got 3 jobs, making no real money. Detective Carter shows up. That's the scene that we all hear saying, James St. Patrick's son, like, you smell like him. And then Tariq pretty much is like, whatever you got with my dad, it has nothing to do with me. So of course Detective Carter said, how's your mom? So that's going to strike a nerve with Tariq. He pretty much told Tariq that he's going to take her out of which set. So that triggered Tariq to go see his mom. Tasha's working at Shop Depot while she's talking to Tariq. He's telling her, look, they think about kicking you out of which set. And Tasha's like, well, I gotta, they was mad that I just went AWOL like that. So that's why. But nevertheless, I'm going to hold it down. You need to get out of here. Then a old dirty man came up, kind of touched Tasha in a way that was inappropriate and told her she needed to get back to work. And so at that point, Rick didn't like that. So when the old man went to his car later on that day, Tariq met him at his car, crushed his fingers, and pretty much said, if you say something to Tasha again, it's gonna be a problem, and I know where you live. I'll come to your house. On Tariq's way home from that scene, the old car he had with 2-Bit broke down. So life is hitting Tariq hard. No money, working these odd jobs on campus. Broke down car. He called Braydon. Braydon came and got him. Told Braydon basically we need to get in the game. We need a new plug. So Tariq had the idea. He wanted his car back. It showed he pretty much had a tracker on his car, showed where he was. Found 2-Bit was at a vegan food store. He had a second key that worked. He jumped in the car, and it showed 2-Bit like, get out of my car. And Tariq pretty much laughed, said, man, it's my car. Also showed Davis in the scene. Of course, he got suspended. It showed Detective Carter seeing Davis, telling him that he could use his influence to get his license back. Also, he could told Davis he can help him, he can assist him. Davis pretty much told him, staying solid for Tariq, pretty much blowing Detective Carter off. Meanwhile, he talked to Tariq, told Tariq pretty much watch himself, because Detective Carter is not the average police officer he's been dealing with over the years. He's the real deal. So that's giving Tariq the heads up there. And so now we got 2 people, Detective Carter and Noma, all try to get with Davis, and Davis brushed them off. And I'm trying to think, I think I covered everybody. Diana, she works at the store still. And pretty much Monet had and there was a moment when Noma met up with the Russians. Monet showed up pretty much, and the Russians they don't like Monet, of course, and they had a standoff with the gunplay. Nobody shot each other, but Monet passed out, and when she passed out, Effie got her, drove her back home, but then everybody was concerned about her. Meanwhile, it was a moment where you had Drew and Diana, and Drew was going to pretty much take Monet's pills and poison her. And Diana pretty much told him, look, you better than this, don't do that. We got to show that we better than her. And Monet overheard him. And so, of course, Monet's cousin has come in to help her and assist her back with her health. And she's pretty much, was I that bad to my children that I can't get a second chance to make things right with them? And so that's what Monet is dealing with. So that's pretty much the episode right there. Tariq and them looking for a new connect to get back in the game. Noma and King lining up to have a love fling. Detective Carter did, by the end of the episode, Detective Carter did lock Obi up for questioning about his green card. So we're gonna see how that going end up. Obi's dead. He's just on borrowed time, borrowed episodes in the case. Obi be dying soon. You're gonna see. I think we're gonna see Diana trying to change her character arc and like be a better person. But I think Diana's being set up to eventually die. I don't know if Effie's gonna between Effie and Diana. I think one of them is gonna die. Definitely Diana's gonna die, I believe. And I don't know about both of them. I think Effie gonna somehow just slide off somewhere and disappear or something like that. I think it's more to Effie. Of course, Tariq can't trust her for that, but I don't know if she gets killed. That'd be a shocker if sometime in the next few episodes Effie gets killed. But I definitely think Diana's out of here, especially with all the information that's running around online. And that was pretty much the episode. I pretty much covered everything. It was just okay. It was just okay. Little moments I mentioned that I didn't care for, but it was okay episode. Not a lot going on that you could just say for this be the final season. I guess it's gonna be a build up. They put a lot of character development, put a lot of things out there for things to be connected in the end. So hopefully it pick up and it just be like, oh, that was this season they going for it to be the last season. But who knows? Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Till next time.